strong chance Larry Bird either falls outside of my top 10.
Larry Bird is not top 10? What? Really now?
What? 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 What?
What up, JP Nation? This your boy JP, and we are reacting to also Rusty Buckets. Larry Bird isn't top 10, reacting to hot takes. Very true what this video is about. Make sure you click that subscribe button and click that notification bell. You know our next upload is. If you love reaction videos, love the game of basketball like I do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Larry Bird is not top 10 all time. This is an interesting take to me, and I've thought about this recently because I want to make a top 75 all-time list. I made a correcting the NBA's top 50 list way back when. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible list. I hate my all-time list that's publicly out there, and I hate that it's the only version of my all-time beliefs that exists. So with that in mind, I want to make a new one. And I'm thinking lately, I'm going to be a lot more real with how I present this. I'm going to be pretty explicit in what I truly feel about these players, whereas when I made the first one, I tried to be a little conservative, where I was like, yeah, I have my strong opinions, but maybe I'll move a player 3 spots lower than most people would have him because I think he's overrated, rather than the 10 spots I really want to move him. In this case, going for this one, I'm just going to take the gloves off. People can disagree all they want, but I think there's a strong chance Larry Bird either falls outside of my top 10 or he is 10. Because if I'm just going down the list of players that I believe to be...
Hold on. What the... So Larry Bird is not top 10. He is not top 10 all time. I mean... What? What? Brother has one of the highest win percentages of all time. Brother got 3 straight MVPs back to back to back. You can only name a few players that ever did that. He's one of them. The only player in NBA history got an MVP, got a Finals MVP, Jesus Christ. Executive of the Year, Coach of the Year. He's the only one that did that. He is the only one that did that. His IQ is one of the greatest of all time. Brother is one of the most clutch players of all time. When you give the ball in his hands, most of the time it goes in. Pat Riley said if he had to get someone to take a shot to save his life, he said Larry Bird. Isaiah Thomas, he said you put him, Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson in the room. He said Bird will come out there at the end of the day. That tells you something about Larry Bird. Cold-blooded killer in the last 24 seconds. He demanded the basketball. Yeah, I mean, I understand he didn't win as much as Magic in the 80s, but when you're talking about the best player of the 80s, I mean, Magic and Bird, I mean, you can make an argument for Bird being the best player of the 80s. Jesus Christ. I just don't get people disrespecting the greatness of Larry freaking Bird. There was somebody on Twitter yesterday saying, would you rather take a prime LeBron James versus a prime Larry Bird at age 30? When you look at their numbers, Larry Bird stands out a lot more at age 30 than a prime LeBron James at 30 years old. The numbers don't lie. It don't lie. Oh my goodness gracious. When can people give the ultimate respect to Larry Bird? It just seems like they just don't, he just doesn't matter. He just doesn't matter. And people like me and other people, God almighty, wow. I want to know who's his top 10. I really want to know who his top 10 list. I really do want to know. My God.
Definitively should be ranked higher than him all time. I would go with, this is in no order, by the way, but Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bill Russell, Stephen Curry, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan. That's 9. I'm not missing anybody, I don't think. Oh, Shaq. That's Shaq. Yeah. Wait, that's 9 right there. But my fingers, I lost track. I was counting on my fingers, and I moved my fingers weird and lost track of it. I don't know. Maybe that was 9. Maybe that was 10. But yeah, outside of the top 10, it's plausible for sure. The second is
no disrespect to Hakeem Olajuwon. He was great. Like, he was a great player. And, you know, a guy that won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Like, he was great and won the championship too as well. But I wouldn't put Hakeem over Larry Bird. I mean, Larry Bird did beat Hakeem in the NBA Finals, and you could say, well, it was Hakeem's still year. He wasn't Hakeem in the 90s and blah, blah, blah. Larry Bird beat him. He beat him. I mean, Game 6 against Houston, probably the best game Larry Bird ever played. Like, he torched everybody on both sides of the ball. Even Hakeem probably going to be like, that's kind of crazy that Larry Bird's not top 10. You know, I love Steph Curry to death. You know, he's a great player. Won 4 championships, won 2 MVPs, won unanimous, and won the Finals MVP. As much as I like Steph Curry, I can't put Steph Curry over Larry Bird. I really can't. I really just can't put him over Larry Bird. I mean, just the disrespect to Larry Bird is just crazy. Like I said, he was the last player that won MVP 3 straight years. The other 2 people that did it was Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. That was it. And Larry Bird's on that list. Won MVP as the best player in the league. He won it 3 straight years. And granted, like his rookie season, he was what? In the top 3 or 4 in MVP voting his rookie season, and like for like 9 years, he's either finished in the top 2, top 3, top 4 in MVP voting. That's how great Larry Bird was. And won Finals MVP in 84 and 86. It was a difference maker. He was a difference maker. Oh, God almighty. Like, what is it? Is it just because the stats just don't pop out to you? He cared about winning. That's all he cared about was winning. He don't care about points at the end of the day. He don't care about rebounds at the end of the day. Granted, his career rebounding average is 10. That's impressive. That's more than Patrick Ewing. Don't care about steals. Look, he almost had a quadruple game against Utah. And he didn't even care about going in to get the 10th steal because he said he already did enough damage because they were up by 20, 30 points. He cares so much about winning. He impacted that Celtics team. Like, he took that Celtics team from a 29-win team to a 61-win team in his fucking rookie season. God almighty, is there any other people is defending Larry Bird's legacy out there? Like, man, oh my goodness gracious, man. I just can't believe it, man. I really just can't. I'm just surprised. I'm just really that fucking surprised. At all. I really am. Anyways, man, but definitely comment down below your thoughts about, you know, his critique about Larry Bird not being in the top 10. Definitely let me know what you want me to react to next. Make sure you subscribe to ItzJustJP for more content. Click the notification bell. You know our next upload is. I'm JP, and I'll see you later. Peace.